Hello you beautiful peeps, my name is John, welcome to the channel. Today we have the Eachine EAT11 and I have realised I have not taken this apart, I have not greased the diff, so I have not done anything with it. So I thought today's video could be for those that are wishing to get in and actually grease their diffs. I'm a little bit concerned because some of you may know already that I have had to glue the rear section. But I don't think that's going to stop me from getting in, and obviously I put new shocks on, but again that's not going to stop me getting into the diffs. So let's get set up. Okay, I've moved the camera around because I want obviously those that are going to be attempting this job to get as much detail in as possible. So right off the bat I'm just going to disconnect all of the shocks. The top of these shocks all have this screw, not the one that I put in the other day, but let's not talk about that. Okay, right, now that has to come out. If you see here you've got the front lights. I'm just going to disconnect that and get that out of the way so that we don't cause any damage there. So from what I can see we have to get this off here, 1 2 3 1 2 3, and maybe just disconnect the front bumper just at the top there. Again, I have never been into this car, so it's a bit hard for me to say 100%, but the only way we're going to know is if we do it. So, the screw here. That screw. 1 2 3. I don't know if all of them have to come off, but we will do it anyway. This one's actually got the spring on it, so I'm a little bit nervous about undoing this one, but if a spring pops off, I know where it needs to go back to. And the last one. Ooh. Yeah, it's pushing up this whole section here because of that spring. Again, the 1 2 3 there. I was a bit curious to know what that spring there is for. I assume it's some sort of steering servo saver. Steering servo saver? Yeah, okay. Cool. Right. Let's lift this off if it will come off. Or is that whole panel there? Looks like this is connected. Is it? Yes, could be connected. Anyway, I will show you here. You can see that there is a spring there, but you know, it's not all going to fall apart, but I don't think we have to get into it any more. By the looks of it, to get into this diff, we actually have to take this top off. Or at least this suspension. That's a little bit more work than I expected, I'll be honest with you. Just again to let you know, it is the two here, because obviously the screws below, make sure that you're in focus. The screws below are hidden, so we have to get into here. Ooh, long. Okay. Looking promising. Right, so now is it just... now I've just seen all the way in here there's two screws that's obviously part of this top cover. That's annoying. I am just getting the drive shafts out of the way, or the dog bones, or the CBDs, whichever ones they are. So does that mean that more of this has to come off to get to those? Or can I maybe get in there? Okay, I can get in there. It's going to be really hard to show you on camera though, but I will try my best. All the way down here is the screw. There. See where the screw is now? I'm going to have to pull this top cover up to undo it. And on the other side should be a little bit easier. See there? There. Then we have the 2 screws there, there, and then the ones at the front here, and obviously on the opposite side here. For those that haven't done anything like this before, don't be scared. It looks a lot more difficult than what it is. It's just about doing things systematically. More importantly, keeping your screws in order. As you see, the back ones there go there, the next ones will go there, the front ones will go there, and that's the same for the top section here. But that's another reason why in most cases I show you the screws. However, the last 3 that I've taken out I have not, but I shall now. Actually, these are all the same by the looks of it. So these ones were from the rear of the diff cover and the middle of the diff cover. That one just flew off somewhere. Fabulous! That's what I wanted, wasn't it? And then obviously the front. Oh man! Okay, now, anyway, you see these 4 screws here? They have to come off. They're the ones that are holding the shock tower. Now when I did the suspension video for this car, swapping the suspension over to the WL Toys, obviously I was working off a repaired car on the rear. That was done on the unboxing video where we snapped this section off here. Well, that whole of the suspension video, including dropping it on the table over there, has caused no damage. Right, these 4 screws I'm leaving in here for obvious reasons. And now that gives us access to the last 2 screws here. Again, they're just the same, so that makes it nice and easy. I will have to go hunting for the screw that I just lost on the floor. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. There we go. Right, excuse me a moment. Dun, dun, dun. I found it, I found it. Okie dokie. So, now, do we get access to the diff cover? Okay, the steering needs to be moved back because obviously it was stopping the cover there. And it all comes out. I'm surprised to see that that is plastic or nylon, but fair enough. We're back to the debate about, do you need grease on the nylon versus the nylon? I would say on this car, no, because it's been dead quiet. Dead quiet. But, you know, we may put some on there. I don't know. Okay, so do these cups come off? No, they do not. 1, 2, 3, 4 have to come off. Oops, let's turn this down a bit. Oh. That's why. A little bit tough. And long. There we go. I mean, you can see the type of screws that came out of that. So, let's open her up and show you in detail. I mean, there's grease in there without a shadow of a doubt. So they have chosen to grease the nylon. Aha! Okay, I'm going to take it all out anyway because I know that there will be some people at some point that have to get it out. So we're here. Let's see if there's any surprises. By the looks of it, that is just, it actually looks identical to the WL toys, I'll be honest with you. So, I just wanted to make sure there were no shims in here, which is like the little washers. Sorry, that's still vibrating. I apologise. So anyway, that pin there. That pin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, these pins are especially important because, let me get them into focus. Excellent. As you see, they have gashes, oh, there we go, gashes taken out of them on both of them, which means that they need to sit like that in the differential. If you have them like this on top of each other, the differential will not work. So when you put the first one in, it needs to be facing upwards, and then the second one in on the cross will be facing downwards. Always mix up your white lithium grease because it does break up, especially if you don't use it for a long time. So, goes in like so, and the other one like so. You will see where they need to go in. You've got the holes for the screws, and then they would sit in between those in the cross shape. So make sure, as I said before, that the gash is facing upwards. Oops. You see, like so. Do not push it down now, because if you do, you will not be able to see that the top one is in fact meshed properly. And then you've just got to take it all out, clean it all up, do it all again. You're going to have to buy a stronger tripod for that camera. Right, remember this one, the gash has to be facing downwards. And if you see, they are now sitting on top of each other. Make sure it's all pushed in, and then you can push it down like so. Do not be tempted to turn it now because you can knock them out of alignment. So just a little bit more grease on top. Line up the holes. Very good. Oops. This I am using just to get them in the majority of the way, but then I will tighten them by hand. Do it in a cross pattern, tighten 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Too tight and you will have them grinding up. I am not doing them tight at all. Actually, that one felt a bit tight. So, turn it to get all the grease around, and then I will lift it up to the microphone and you can hear. Smooth as butter. Butter, butter, butter. So, nice and simple, huh? Putting it back together is obviously the reverse of what we just did. I have made a boo-boo. It is a very big boo-boo because I should have paid attention to whether this gear was facing that way or this way. Let's assume it's WL Toys. By pushing the front or the rear wheels like so, you can see that the front wheels are also going forward. So I guessed correctly. You can just try and get the drive shafts in now, but it's not going to make a huge difference because you're going to have to make sure before you put all the suspension back together that they're it. Actually, I'm not going to bother. That's just going to be more hassle than it's worth. Let's turn this over. There we go. Right, now, they had grease on the inner side, but not on the outer side. So I'm going to put some on the outer side because I prefer more grease than no grease. Okay, that should be more than enough. So, cover back on, make sure that nothing, also make sure that the two bearings here are in the correct position. Very nice indeed. Okay, so it was these two screws here. We'll go in first. Oh, sorry. It's going to be a bit difficult, but I always wonder whether the designers of these cars actually have to take them apart themselves, and I would say in most cases most definitely not. It's the same as in real cars. If you were a designer of a car, you should be made to take your design apart and scuff up your own knuckles and everything. Right, now obviously this spring has to be back in the right position, so make sure you do that as well. Cool. We have 1, 2, 3 sets of screws there. I'm going to put the front ones in just to hold it down. Oh, that spring's fallen out already. Feels like this screw is not binding up very well. And the one at the front for the bumper. We need to put this back on. Excellent. Now, this is the important part. The draft shaft, dog bone CVD, has to go in correctly. And then, come on, in you go. Get in. Get in. Why are you not going in? There you are. Cool. And then there we go. A very long one of these. Can I go in through there? No. Nice. Sorry. And then finally the two suspension shocks. Is any of that in shot? I've just screwed that into that just in case it wasn't in shot. I think I've moved my desk a little bit because the camera doesn't seem to be lined up at all. I'll have to fix that in a second. And that one goes, oops-a-daisy. Beautiful. That is the front. Now we shall do the rear. Okay, now I am a little bit concerned about obviously gluing in that section there, but I think what I'll do is I will take off the rear wing rather than anything else right now, and then we'll see where we need to go. So 2 screws here for the rear wing. And then, nice and easy to see, isn't it? 2 screws there, and that one is hidden there. Whoa. The longer ones definitely go on the bottom. They're for the lower section of the rear wing, and this is for the upper section. So does that come off now, or have I glued it? No, I shouldn't have glued that. What? Uh-oh, that's just broken the repair. Someone's going to have to tell me why that rear wing is not coming off. Have I spilt some glue on it? I think I may have done. Oh man. I may have to snap off this whole section because I don't think I can do this without... Because one of the bolts down here has to be unscrewed, and of course this is all in the way. Okay, don't do this to yours, obviously this is just because mine had been repaired. Okay, it's coming off. Let me show you what the problem was. I've taken obviously the 4 screws out, so this should now be able to come off. There's no other screws, no. So obviously I've spilt, when I was doing all of my repairs, some glue here. That's very frustrating. Alright, well, don't do that to yours for obvious reasons, but it does give us a lot of access now. It's very good. So, those long screws here for the rear swing arms. Oh, sorry about that. These are the long screws that just came out of these two here. Gets that nicely out of the way. Now, I wonder, do I have to take everything apart on this? Is it going to be the same thing? Okay, let's take off this cover first, and then we'll have a much better idea of what's going on. Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait. Just putting this one back in for a second because I think it's the two at the side that come off for this rear cover. Whoa, that's long. Very long. So, that was the front one. That's going to be one of the two side ones. There we go. Where's that? Okay. Taking off the diff cover, he says. Why is that not turning? Whoa. I think I have been scuppered by my own repair because I think some glue has fallen down on that screw as well. He's a pain in the butt. That would have been really nice if that all came apart right now, but it's not going to. Seriously, how far do I have to go into this to get to it? Okay, all four. I assume that this is the motor mount. Come ahead. Oh, seriously, sorry about that. It is Sunday morning and I am very tired. That's the 4 screws for the motor mount, which was 1, 2, 3, 4. Those wondering why I set up that second camera a little bit closer. Would you look at that? Actually, that's pretty handy. Okay, right, a couple of things. Should that wire really be rubbing up against that drive shaft? No, it should not. So, 2 hidden screws here. Oops, a daisy. Does it come off? No. There's obviously a screw that I can't see somewhere. I don't think this is part of it, by the way. I just want to see if it just undoes the rear section. Okay, so that's just for a bumper and okay. I'll put that on afterwards. I honestly cannot see any other screw. That's free, that's free. There is no other screw. Oh, brilliant. It was just stuck. Right, well, at least we got into it, and at least we now know. Big gear facing away. Keep that in mind, John. Have a look inside there. A little bit of fluid. That's interesting, isn't it? Right, put the car to one side. Give that a bit of a clean. Okay, now, same procedure as before. Excellente. Okie dokie. So, all back together. Make sure the bearings are in position. Okay, now do that way, and that keeps the wire away from the giraffe shaft. Oh, upside down. That was a bit silly. Cool. Told you it was early. Nice. Make sure that your gears are meshing. There's been no adjustment there, so there's no reason why they wouldn't be meshing now. Put this cover back on. Nice. Now, where's those drive shafts? Dug bones. Here we go. In there. Come on, in you get. In there, and then that goes like that. Same as the other side, in like that. Cool. If you haven't seen the video on the WL Toys 144001 shocks, then I suggest that you do. It's improved the handling a lot. Nice. Let me just do the bit on the bottom that didn't need to come off, but at least now we know. Cool. Now it would be at this point where obviously we're putting the rear wing back on and whatnot. In my case I'm going to have to glue it here, but don't forget to put the screws back in along at the bottom. And short at the top. Now I am going to take it out on the roof and just show you that everything is working as it should, but I'm now going to have to wait for 2 hours for this glue to dry and obviously put my shocks back together, something that you won't have to do. But you can see that it's working like it should. So I'll glue this and then we'll get it out on the roof. See you soon. working just fine. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We will catch you next time. Take care. Bye bye.